Hello, 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 Facebook world, and people that are watching. Hey, today I'm going to talk us through the power of negativity. Not completely the power of negativity. What I'll be talking about is what I like to call negative preparation. I learned this 4-step process from Dan Kennedy. And I've been using it lately, and it's really helping me understand how to make the best out of situations, right? So if you're a business owner and you're out doing stuff, if you're launching products, if you're having sales conversations, if you are out in the business world actually making some things happen, you're going to get some wins and you're going to get some L's. And I'm going to talk you through the process of negative preparation. All right? And let me get my drink. So while Facebook is doing its thing, I'm going to jump in and we're going to talk about the power of negative preparation. Okay. So, this week is we're jumping into spring. And usually for spring, I start having some spring promotions, right? So as I'm going out, I'm reactivating some clients. I'm doing my resurrection promotions, sending them out to clients to get people back on board and ready to rock out for this next year, for this upcoming quarter as we move into the summer, because we want to make sure that no one experiences the summer slump, right? So we have a couple promotions coming down the pipeline. And as we're going through these promotions, I do what's called negative preparation, okay? And negative preparation is really a 4-part process. So I'm going to teach you the 4-part process, and then I'm going to show what it looks like in real life, okay? So, number 1, in your negative preparation, the first part is you got to forget or reset. Okay? Number 1, forget or reset. Okay? And what do I mean by that? So we have to, even though I'm calling this negative preparation, we really have to get past the notion of what's positive or what's negative, okay? See, these are preconceived constructs that can help, that can mess with us. So, don't use positive and negative per se. Just say, hey, I'm collecting data. And with data, it is what it is. Data just is, right? Hey, if 2 people bought, then data says 2 people bought, right? If data says 10,000 people bought, then 10,000 people bought. It is just number. It's just data. We're collecting data, right? So when we're going into it, yes, we're doing negative preparation, but the first mental shift we have to accept is what happens, happened, okay? What's gonna happen, happens, right? So that's number 1. So number 1 is forget, and that forget piece is kind of forget the concept of negative and positive, right? So we want to reset our thinking, right? As we go into this new venture, as we go into this new funnel, as we go into this new quarter, negative preparation says I'm going to forget what's negative, and I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to collect data. I'm a data collector, right? There was a movie called Bone Collector a couple of years ago now. I'm a data collector. The second thing you want to do is you want to make a list of every scenario. So, scenario. Okay? So, you want to make a list of your scenario. Hey, what's up, Greg? How you doing, brother? I'm talking on the topic of negative preparation. So, we're talking about the first thing you want to do is you look at the scenario and you make a list of every scenario. Now, how do you do this? You ask yourself the question, hey, what could happen if I do this? What could happen if I do this? What could go right with doing this? What could go wrong with doing this? And if you're in business, I'm sure we've all made some good decisions, some right decisions, and we made some less than right decisions, right? Some things have worked out good. Some things have worked out bad. Some things have been massive success. Some things have not been successful, right? So you take out a piece of paper and you start writing, okay, here is every possible scenario that I could think of, right? I launch this product and sell 1,000 copies, or I launch this album or whatever. Shout out to Greg. I launch this album and I sell 20 records, whatever, right? So you list out your scenario. You list out your concerns, right? You list out any objections that people have. Basically, you want to take what's in your head and dump it out on a piece of paper, right? So that's number one. That's number two. First, you reset. Hey, it's no good or bad. It's just what's happening. And then scenarios. You write out any scenario you can think of. The next thing you do is you flip it. Negatives. You take your negatives and you flip it. All right. So when you're writing your scenario down, you say, okay, now that I have listed all the things that could happen, what are some of the things that are negative, right? Or what are some objections? Or what are some things that people can say horrible about it? So let's say I'm launching this product where I'm doing some Facebook advertising, right? I do some Facebook advertising for local clients. We're doing this whole birthday push, right? Birthday and new movers push. So a positive that could happen is, we're consistently getting sales just from the advertisement, right? Advertisement's killing it and we're doing it. Negative is could happen. Hey, we spend money on this advertisement and nobody's clicking, nobody's responding, etc. Right? So that's a negative. So I write down, okay, my negative is no one's clicking on the advertisement. My negative could be, hey, I expected to spend $500 or $200. I end up spending $500. That's a negative, right? So I write down my negatives and then I flip it. Okay, I flip it and I said, okay, the negative, no one is clicking on my ad. The positive, how do I flip it? It said, okay, that ad doesn't work. I can change my advertising, right? Or that segment of the market doesn't work, or that age group doesn't work. So I just flip it, right? And then after I flip it, number 4 is the document. All right. Number 4 is to document. So I document the changes that I'm going to make. I'm documenting the adjustments that I'm going to make. I'm documenting how I'm going to improve the process or the situation. All right. So the 4-step process of negative preparation, and I say negative kind of in quotes because the process for launching the campaign, for going out and doing it is, hey, I'm going out, I'm putting this thing in motion because I got to get some data. Good, bad, or different, I got to get some feedback. Because if I don't have feedback, I'm making a decision, just with information and something on the internet and something I read or whatever. And none of that matters at the end of the day, right? It doesn't matter until you're on stage, I'm on stage, I'm in front of the crowd. What? Hey, if they're not responding, now I have data. Maybe it's my song, maybe it's my music or whatever. You see what I'm saying? If I launch if I'm doing this campaign for business owners and I'm on the phone and I'm calling, boom, 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 and I'm not getting any responses, then I got to check my script, right? So yesterday I'm on the call, banging out calls, boom, boom, boom. And I was like, man, I'm not getting a whole lot of responses. So one thing, I'm calling, I kept getting voicemails. So I said, all right, well, let me write a script for voicemail, because apparently every time you get on the phone and make a phone call, people don't answer if they don't know the number. Like, duh. When I think about it, I know this is true because I don't answer all the time numbers that I don't know. But when I started going through the process, I say, you know what? Well, let me stop and write a voicemail script that would be something cool to leave on people's voicemail that will be engaging and perhaps create a callback. What was I doing? I went out and I said, hey, first I got rid of whether or not I thought it was negative, right? I forgot, I reset. Hey, it's not negative or positive. I'm making the calls and nobody's answering. Is that a negative? That's a positive? It is what it is. So now my second thing was the scenario. Hey, I'm getting voicemails, right? So I take the negative, I'm getting voicemails, and then I flip it. And I said, okay, all right, well, let me create a very engaging voicemail script. And then I documented my voicemail script, right? And now I'll be able to see how many callbacks I got, right? The same process. If you go through the 4-step process of negative preparation, 1, forget that it's negative or positive, just get it done. Get some data, right? Sometimes I work with clients and I can't make an adjustment on your sales funnel if we've never sent anybody through it, right? Sometimes it's like, hey, just spend $100 or whatever, $500, whoever, get 100 people or 1,000 people through the process. Because without data, right, without collecting data, there's really nothing I can guess with you, and we can both be guessing, I think, maybe kind of, sort of, probably, maybe halfway. Or we pull some data and we look at it, and then we say, we look at the scenarios. Okay, here's possibly what's happening. Oh, I didn't think about this scenario. Boom, 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 boom. Then I take all my negatives and I flip it into how am I going to fix these negatives? How am I going to improve the situation? How am I going to tweak this, right? Then I document my changes, and then we go out and get some more data, right? It's a genius process. But going through this process helps you create better sales funnels, helps you create better opportunities in your business. So how does this work when you're launching a funnel? I mean, my name's Lee, the funnel helper. So let me show you kind of how it applies in launching a funnel after I get a drink of water. Hold on. So what's up, Henry Miller? How you doing, brother? So, negative preparation. So this how it works in the context of a sales funnel online. Sometimes I will launch a product, right? I'm launching my product online. I'm going out to make these sales. Hey, what's up, Jasmine? I'm going out to make these sales. And when I look at it, most people plan for the positive. Hey, I'm going to put this t-shirt design. I'm going to put this website. I'm going to put this new offer online, and people are going to love it. And then after they buy the first thing, then I'm going to upsell them on this second thing. And after they buy this second thing, I'm going to upsell them on the third thing. And boom, I'm just going to roll it and keep making my money, right? Okay. So that's planning for the positive, which is good. Hey, how you doing, Jasmine? That's my dude. Where you been? We got to talk. We got to catch up. Much love. Coolest little kid. It's funny because she's not a little kid anymore. But like, when I knew her when she was a little kid, coolest little kid in the world. That's what I used to always say. But so you make your positive. So then you plan for the negative. Hey, what happens if I put this thing online to sell it? And so we look at the scenarios. If I put this thing online and nobody buys it, okay, then we have to look. Okay, nobody bought it. If I put this thing online and I don't have any traction, yeah, we'll definitely have to link up. I don't have any traction. So I look at it and I'm like, okay, I don't have any traffic. What else could be a scenario? Hey, I put this thing online and no sales are coming in, right? So check this out. I had something online, and I hate to admit this, but it is what it is. So I had this product up, and we're driving traffic to it, blah, 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 right? My shopping cart was having an issue. So I'm like, man, I ain't getting no sales. I see that people are getting to the page, I see that people are clicking the button. I'm looking at the video and I'm like, hey, they're clicking the button. Why aren't sales happening? And then I see that my shopping cart was acting up, like it was freezing or it was just kind of getting hung up somewhere in the internet world, right? So once you go in, you fix that, right? And then you're able to move on. Now, that didn't have anything to do with my upsell sequence, but, sometime by tracking the data, we can find out what happens. So you plan for your upsells, you plan it, but then you have to look at your negative and plan for what are possible scenarios for your negative, right? What are possible scenarios if somebody says no? I was talking with a friend of mine today, and we were talking about selling a high ticket thing. So what happens if somebody doesn't buy your high ticket thing, right? Is there a payment plan, right? What happens if they don't buy it? Is there a downsell, right? Do we take something out and charge a lower cost for what's left? Do we adjust the product, right? So there are certain things you can do, but that process of thinking through it, that process of not only planning for the positive, but making contingencies or planning for the negative, that negative preparation, and then I flip it. Now, once I flip it, I document it. And that documented piece for the sales funnel is I go back and I look at my analytics. I look at my tracking. I look and I say, okay, well, emails 1 and 2 are getting good click-throughs. Emails 1 and 2 are responsible for a whole bunch of sales. Email 3, 4, and 5, they're not really doing too much. All right, maybe I can go in and I can tweak it. I can make the adjustment, and then I go back to 1, and I reset, and I do it again. This happens in creating funnels. This happens if you're selling a new product, right? This happens if you're launching a new process, all this. So that's the simple 4-part process of negative preparation. Number 1, forget negative or positive, preconceived ideas, right? It is what it is. Let the data be the data. Let it happen, right? Once you have what it happens, now list out the scenarios. Now, what are some reasons that this may be happening like this? Okay. Yes, this. Let me plan. I'm listening. I'm looking. I'm planning. I'm watching. All right, cool. And then I take the negatives and then I flip it. How can I turn this negative around? How can I make the adjustments? How can I improve it, etc.? Then I document my findings, right? I document my results. I make the adjustments. And then I go to step 1. And I do it over and over again. And this is how you take a loser and turn into a winner. This is how you take a failing process, turn into a winning process. And this is how you take a money losing offer and turn into a winning offer, right? The power of negative preparation, okay? This is Lee Fuller, aka the Funnel Helper. These are your 4 steps. And I look forward to seeing you on Thursday, where we do the Tactical Thursday. And we're going to break down, not sure yet, something pretty cool. If you got any suggestions, go ahead and type them in the box below. And I'll talk to you soon. This is Lee Fuller, a.k.a. Funnel Helper. And I'm out. I got to work on my outro. But anyway, talk to y'all later. Bye.